Dude, I love the mahi mahi in the back.
You like that, bro? That's fresh off the boat, bruh. It's fresh off
Dude,
the
yeah.
bro.
Is
It's working now.
it
I
a
know that.
replica of something you've got?
Oh, dude, that is basically that mahi mahi behind me. I wrestled it. Uh, I I jumped off the boat and wrestled it myself. I didn't even use a fishing line, and that's how I got that mahi. Honestly, though, my mom got it for me at a garage
Oh,
sale.
cool. Oh, it looks pixelated on my computer too. Or on my he has Android, David. Um, whatever you it's HD on my screen. But I have a 2021 MacBook Pro 13 inches.
Yeah, dude, 13 inches. That's you should be proud of that. But seriously, um, I just traded Debo Samuel, and it wasn't pleasant for me to have to do that. That wasn't something that I like looked forward to doing. I bought merch. Literally, I haven't even received the shirt in the mail yet. Debo obviously needs to learn about the supply chain because I still haven't got my shirt. And I swear, if he fleeced me for a shirt and I had to trade him, then we're gonna have problems. But
What did you trade him for?
I traded him straight up Kenneth Walker. I got the that Seattle
Okay.
backfield because I had no running backs. I was starting the entire Washington backfield because Singletary's on bye, and that's
Yeah.
that's where I was at, and I think I just need to start rebuilding. Leak Mistro seems to think I won the trade. Here's the thing: Debo's gonna eat, right? I mean, Debo's gonna eat.
It's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be in the long run better for Christian McCaffrey. Um, but I don't know. What do you think? What are your
Well,
like initial thoughts?
here's the thing, and I heard talk about Debo at the beginning of the season, and people were saying, "Oh, Debo, 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 this, Debo, that." Debo, they paid that guy. Like they
Yeah.
paid him. They are invested in Debo, and they get him the ball. And what I honestly, I don't think this is more so like a diss on Debo. I think like Eli Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, these are guys like I have Jeff Wilson and Eli in my other league. Immediately dropped. They're gone. They are now completely irrelevant. Eli Mitchell, he's a handcuff, but Jeff Wilson, he might as well start selling hot dogs.
My thing is Carolina basically gave the 49ers Christian McCaffrey, or sorry, yeah, they gave Christian McCaffrey to the Niners for literally, I guess, future for a rebuild. I mean, a second, third, and fourth round pick in the 2023 draft, as well as a fifth round pick in the 2024 draft. I mean, they're looking to rebuild. I think this might be the time to do so. But I think that gives the 49ers a chance to really be a competitive team for the Super Bowl this year. I think that's maybe something that is going to be beneficial for them moving forward into the playoffs, if it comes to that. But I am really, really excited to see what comes from this 49ers team in the next, I
Dude,
guess, if he doesn't play this weekend, couple weeks.
they are a team that they will give, and this is why people wonder why I love 49ers players on my team is because it's so predictable. With Shanahan, like that offense is very predictable. And Jeff Wilson, doesn't matter who's starting at running back. You could get anybody, dude. You can fucking get me in pads and get me in San Francisco and put me at running back, and I'd probably get you some points, dude. And that's the thing. Now they have a superstar. They have
Yeah.
they have a guy that is the talent of that dude. Dude, with that offense,
The only flaw, dude, the only thing that you can even be like a little bit worried about with Christian McCaffrey is just his history with injuries. I think that if he can stay healthy and if he can continue to be as explosive as he was, that first year when what I think Carolina went 11-5, right? In 2017, his rookie
yeah,
season, 11 and
rookie.
5. Dude,
Yep.
like if he can return to that rate, or if he can continue to be as explosive as he was then, I mean, you're going to be a Super Bowl contender without a doubt with a good back, with a good running back. I mean, as long as, if your defense can hold, I think defense wins championships. And I think in the end of things, like, you can have as good of an offense as you can have. I mean, look at the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl that one. But if you don't have a good defense, then I just don't think that you're going to be able to win. And I think that the 49ers have a good enough defense this year to take it all the way with Christian McCaffrey. I'm not going to give it to them just yet because I haven't seen it yet, but I think they are Super Bowl contenders.
Do you think they take the conference? And actually, before you answer that, I do want to say I've been on a trade bender. Obviously, I traded away Debo before knowing about any of this. And I also, on the trade block, has been Damian Harris, who, by the way, is healthy now. He's going to be playing against Chicago. He is the goal line guy in that offense. And everybody's been telling me, and I had Damian Harris last season. And it's always been the same narrative. Ramondre's going to take over. Ramondre's going to be the guy. And it's like, dude, here's the thing about New England. They have a system, and they don't stray from that system no matter what. So Damian is going to be doing the exact same thing that Damian's been doing the entire season. He had a week off. He's coming back. And I offered Brandon.
What was it, a hamstring?
It was a hamstring, which hamstrings are tough.
Yeah.
Hamstrings are really tough, but the fact that he only took a week off tells me it wasn't major. It wasn't a major injury. And they had luxury. They could have rested him. They could have. I don't think it was a major injury. But I offered Brandon, Damian, and granted, Brandon has Ramondre. So Damian to him, it's like that's a huge piece to have. And so I targeted him. I said, hey, man, we definitely have a trade that can happen. I was looking for either Ayuk or Jerry Jeudy, which if you look at the name of Jerry Jeudy, you're like, oh my God, you would trade Damian Harris. Jerry Jeudy hasn't done shit because Russell hasn't done shit because that offense hasn't done shit. They have no run game. Russell Wilson looks literally like he's impaired, and I'm not gonna say it's a mental illness. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say he's just not cutting the deal. And I would have straight up, I would have sent Damian away for Ayuk. Like instantly. I wanted it. And I knew Brandon wouldn't send him to me. But in hindsight now, Ayuk takes a big step back. Because the thing is, like, Debo was they are gonna feed him and they're gonna feed McCaffrey, and Kittle emerged this past week, right? We saw Kittle emerge. And Kittle's a talented dude. And yes, he likes to block and he's a good blocker. But now there's just too many mouths to feed. There's too many mouths, and I bet he wishes he sent me Ayuk. Now, dude, now I'm in a position of leverage because guess what? Damian Harris probably gets a touchdown this week against.
Yeah,
Chicago.
I mean, what, they play the Bears this week? They play the Bears Monday night.
Yeah, they're moving. Wait, hold on, Leak Mistro. They're moving away from Debo. They can't afford to move away from Debo.
I got to keep up with this chat.
Yeah, so it's easier for me because like I see it in my peripheral here.
I'm gonna put it up here.
They cannot afford to move away from Debo. Debo is a playmaker, dude. You've seen it in the past couple weeks. You throw him the ball, he makes people miss and gets big. He's a big play kind of guy. And like McCaffrey isn't going to change that. They still going to need that receiver on the outside. I think if anything, this hurts Ayuk. If anything, this hurts Ayuk, dude.
I see. Somebody was saying that it's not going to change King something. I don't think Ayuk's targets will change too much. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think they'll change. I think the targets will change. Let's look at how many targets Ayuk had last week. And if you guys watch the games, which I love 49ers games because I usually have all their players. So I watch the games. Ayuk had the 2 touchdowns, and they drew up some plays for him. But, like, you take away the touchdowns and you look at the actual production that you're going to see from him, especially now that McCaffrey's in there. Dude, Debo's going to eat before Ayuk eats. Yeah, he had a good game. Dude, I'm not saying he didn't have a good game. All I'm saying is that he's not, like, with McCaffrey there, If anything, the Debo becomes the receiver, McCaffrey becomes the running back, and then I think Kittle's number two. I still think Kittle becomes number two. I don't, because
Yeah.
here's the thing with a good run game, it opens up a tight end. It
Mm.
opens up a tight end to have success. Look at Cleveland. Look at Cleveland. Look at Njoku the past couple weeks. By the way, Patrick has him on the bench. Dude, Patrick's team is scary. That's a side note. But regardless, Njoku, dude, when you got Chubb and you got Kareem Hunt and they're running the ball the way they are, guess what? Play action. Oh, you think Kittle's about to block? You think Njoku's about to block? Oh, there's a post route. That's a 20-yard play. You can't, you get a safety in man coverage and the safety's playing 20 yards off because they're, showing cover two. It's like this is, I don't know, man. I think Debo's going to eat. I still think
I think
Debo's going
another
to eat.
scary thing. I think another scary thing is having Christian McCaffrey being able to not only run the ball, but he can also be, a receiving running back. I think in a PPR league, it's going to be just even more value. Just even, whatever it may be, having Debo and Christian McCaffrey is just a dual threat, which even may open up more options for either or Kittle, or it just could open up options for anybody. I think on the field, I think it's just it includes a deep threat, it includes a run game, and now he has a receiving running back with him in the backfield. I think the 49ers are going to be a team to look out for. I hope not only for my fantasy team, but for the 49ers that Christian McCaffrey at least,
They
I don't
are,
think he'll play this Sunday.
dude. They already were a team to look out for, and they had
Yeah.
Jeff Wilson Jr. as the running back, and he was doing good. I mean, not last week, but the thing is, any running back in that offense is going to do well because they're going to get 16, 17 to 20 touches. You put McCaffrey in there, it adds an entirely different element to the game.
Yeah.
And it's going to open up Kittle in the play action, and Debo's still going to get his looks. I think, if anything, people were clowning on Patrick for the trade. In Patrick's case, you look at his roster. Now he doesn't have to start Juju. He can start Debo. Like, I'd still start Debo over Juju any day of the week, and he still has
I
running backs.
I think Noel Dog in the chat, he's saying CMC is going to be the best running back going forward, and I have to completely agree with him. Like I said earlier, I think if CMC can stay healthy and CMC can continue to be, like what we were saying earlier, if he can just get back to a rhythm where he's getting consistent touches and he's going to get consistent, playing time on the field, splitting with Debo. I don't even think they need to split, but just being on the field with Debo, I think he's going to be one of the best running backs moving forward, if not the best running back, even in front of Derrick Henry. I think that with the 49ers, what the 49ers can offer Christian McCaffrey as a running back, as a receiving running back as well. I think he's just going to be someone so dangerous and someone that's going to be basically impossible to cover and basically impossible to read what's going to happen and what play is going to be made, especially with a threat like Debo in there as well, because you never know. You can run the ball with Debo, or you can run the ball with McCaffrey, or you can pass the ball to Debo, or you can pass the ball to McCaffrey. It can go either way. Or even Kittle. They have just so many options now, and I just think that it's going to be a scary team, and I think defenses are going to need to be studying really, really tough these upcoming weeks until they figure something out to stop
Well, and I think
the
it's
run game, the
also,
pass game.
and it's fair to say that like McCaffrey is that dual threat running back. Like, he's a great receiver. But that being said, Shanahan, just like New England, they have their system. And I think as
Yeah,
far as like targets go to McCaffrey, I don't think he still sees the same amount of in the passing game that he saw in Carolina. I just don't think so. And it's more to the 49ers benefit that they use him on the ground and they don't necessarily have to use him like in the past, because Carolina, dude, they are just grasping at straws. They used McCaffrey in any way they could because they had no other choice, dude. They had no other choice, But now in the 49ers, he's going to get 20 carries. I mean, he's the bell cow. He's going to get his carries. I don't necessarily think that like they're going to change their entire offensive game plan to get him targets. So that's where I think, like, I still think Debo and Kittle especially, and maybe I'm biased because I'm a Kittle guy, but I just think like a good running game means that tight end in the passing game is going to get some good looks, dude. Because when you load up the box, you're going to get that tight end man to man with the safety, just the safety. And Kittle, you want to talk about yards after the catch? You want to talk about a playmaker at tight end? Dude, that he'll turn a 5-yard out route into a touchdown. You know, if
That's
you
what's so great about Kittle. It's like a Travis Kelce type of tight end where you can just always trust him to continue moving down the field. You pass it, like you just said, 5 yards, he'll make that into a first down. He'll turn that into extra yardage. It's something that tight ends have been missing really throughout the past few years, and I think it's something that's really turned around with a Kelsey, with a Kittle. I think it's just something to look forward to in like the next few years of tight ends coming out. I think that that's going to be, a make or break good tight end. It is what make or break good tight end. Like it's yards after catch. If you can trust a tight end to catch the ball and get you your first down and fight through some tackles, break tackles, I think that's going to get you just what you're looking for out of a player.
Yeah, dude. And as far as Ayuk goes, because I did mention, let's look at the targets, right? And in fantasy, it's about targets, it's about opportunities. That's why you got a guy like Gallup, Eddie. I know you're a Cowboys
Yes,
fan.
sir. I see you're
Okay.
starting him.
Of course. Of course.
I like it.
Moving forward, Gallup's a wide receiver too. Moving
Yeah.
forward, it's a 15-point average. I'm
You know
sorry.
what? And you know what? Dak loves passing it
Yes.
to Michael Gallup.
Yes,
Dak
because
loves passing it to Michael Gallup.
CeeDee's going to take the coverage, and Gallup's that deep threat, and Dak has the
hmm
arm. Cooper doesn't
hmm
have the arm, which Cooper did his job, but now it's Dak time, baby.
And I think he was exposed big time Sunday night.
Yeah. Well, did
Big
you
time
see
he
the
was
targets on
exposed.
Gallup? He tried to get it to Gallup, and it just ended in interceptions, man. That's
That's what I'm saying. I think that with Cooper Rush, I mean, yeah, he played great. He go 4-1 with the Cowboys
mm-hmm.
as starting quarterback. I mean, he did his job. He did his backup job, and I think that set him up for a great future in the NFL. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think that if anything, it just adds trade value for him. I think that he can continue to. He will maybe not a starting position, but he could be like an Andy Dalton. He can go to a team that's struggling. Maybe a Jets backup or a Texans or something like that. But I think his future in the NFL is going to stay.
Of
As for
course.
Dak coming back, I think that I was a Cooper Rush guy until Sunday night. I think the pressure got to Cooper Rush. I saw Cooper Rush as my starting quarterback. I am a Cowboys fan, as you all know, but I think Dak is going to come in and he's going to really show out and you know just prove himself, and he's going to use Michael Gallup now that Michael Gallup's back and healthy, and actually being able to use him as a deep threat and use CD as a decoy in a 10-yard slant or a 10-yard hook route where we can just send Michael Gallup on a fade.
And that offense, dude, like you need to have that wide receiver too. And that's what I think like Gallup is. And I looked at a stat like recently in the games that Gallup has actually played. And granted, this is back when the Cowboys had Amari Cooper. He was still averaging like 15 points.
I'm telling you,
Like
Dak loves throwing it to Michael Gallup.
Gallup he's in, bro. And that's why part of the reason why I was okay with sending away Debo. Because I thought about it, I said I have no running back one. I've got Singletary and I got Brian Robinson on the Commanders, and then Damian Harris. Like those are kind of my guys. I need that guy on, and obviously now that he's the starter, Kenneth Walker, dude, like he's gonna be getting those running back one numbers. You know what I mean? And I needed that running back one numbers, and I expect Gallup to fill that wide receiver 2 role for me 100%.
100%.
From the beginning, I've believed that. MVS, he's a bench piece for me, but I mean this week I got to start him against you, but like he's a bench, and I need to get back to this point I was trying to make about Ayuk, right? So breakout game last week, supposedly everybody's freaking out about Brandon Ayuk. Oh my god, this is it, this is what he's going to do. He had 11 targets. Great. Awesome, dude. That's like Hollywood Brown when he was healthy with Kyler Murray without D Hop. 11 targets. Great, right? But the week before, 4 targets. The week before
Yeah.
that, 4 targets. 8, 8, 3 targets. And that was with, and granted, Jeff Wilson had a absolutely irrelevant role because they got behind early and they had to throw the ball. And then they covered Debo, and Ayuk had his opportunities, and he capitalized on them. Ayuk's talented, no doubt, but he is not going to be getting 11 targets moving forward. If you think Ayuk is getting 11 targets moving forward, dude, you are in dreamland. You are in dreamland. I think 4 to 6. You're looking at 4 to 6 targets moving forward. And, maybe he gets a lucky break and gets a touchdown. But I think now Ayuk, if anybody got hurt the most by the CMC trade as far as value, I think it's Ayuk. I think it's Ayuk, especially after that big week he had. He's not going to recreate that. If you guys think he's going to get 11 targets in that system, especially now that they have CMC as a running back, it's just not going to happen. It's just not.
That brings back to the point that we were saying before. I think it eliminates that the targets that Ayuk is going to have, but I still think it causes for more of just options in general. I think that having so many options and having that spread of the field in general with Kittle, with Debo, with CMC, with it's going to eliminate targets for everybody. But I think that it can really capitalize. Maybe one game he'll have those 11 targets, but the next week he's going to have 4, or the next week he'll have less or more. It doesn't matter. But I don't think that I think he would be a good flex option, and that's about it.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
on a good
with
matchup,
Max.
on a good
Yeah.
matchup, because like, dude, they have a system and it's been working no matter who you put at quarterback, no matter who you put at running back. They made Tevin Coleman a couple weeks ago look like he was goddamn Christian McCaffrey. And guess what? Look at where Tevin Coleman is now, dude. Irrelevant. He's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like certain offenses like really lean on their playmakers. They really lean on the fact that like for example, Carolina with CMC. They had to. They had to rely on him to be a playmaker. They'll throw it to him. They'll run the ball with him. They'll do whatever they got to do to get it in his hands. The 49ers, they're comfortable, dude. Hey, welcome to the team.
Yeah.
Here's 20 carries. We don't even need to necessarily throw you all those flat, those little routes there because we got Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk. And it's like, I just don't think that if any, God, man, Ayuk, I can't believe if I would have traded Damian for Ayuk, I would be kicking myself right now. Because I think Ayuk moving forward is, I'm not going to say irrelevant in the fantasy game, but man, he's like an MVS in my opinion at this, like a Marquez
Yeah.
Valdez-Scantling. He might have a big play. He's a vertical threat. He's a talented receiver. So is MVS. But if it's not in the game plan, it's not in the game plan.
I do think that trade for you was, or that trade not happening for you was the best thing that could happen to you this season. I think that would have broken your season this year in
Yeah.
fantasy.
Well, my season's already kind of, it's tough.
Hey, we're in reboot season, bro. I'm 1-5 right now.
Hey,
I still trust my team.
I won't be the Sacco. I'll tell you that right now. I'd rather die. I'd rather.
Dude, I'm fighting for that right now, bro.
No, hey, Eddie, dude, your team's good. Not like
I
great,
know.
but like you're not Sacco material necessarily. If
I
anything,
changed. I think my most recent trade with Drizzy, I think that kind of rebooted my entire season. Okay, right now I have Heineke, and I had to do it. I had no other choice. I did trade away Kyler Murray, who looks like he was hobbling today. He was in the 10. I'm not sure what ended up happening with him. But I think I have a pretty solid team. I traded, I can't even remember who I traded, but I got Alvin Kamara, and I got EPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think that I am contending now to at least avoid a last place finish. Hopefully sniff a playoff run in these next 6 weeks or whatever it may be. These next 6 weeks are going to be a battle. But you
Yeah.
know what? It's a battle I'm willing to take, and there's trades. My team is still up for trades. You know,
Yeah.
maybe we can talk about it after this call in private, and we can discuss something. We can type something up or something like that. But
Yeah, dude.
um,
So, do you know the details of the trade, by the way? I don't necessarily know the details, but I just looked it up. 2023 second round, 2023 third round, 2023 fourth round, 2024 fifth round. So, entirely 2023. Yo, if you're a 49ers fan, in 2023, you might as well not even watch draft day. You put on your Christian McCaffrey jersey and you go to the bars and you get fucked up. You don't even want to watch draft day on 2023 because it doesn't matter. But you get
yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, and this means Panthers are in rebuild mode, dude.
Oh,
I
100%. They
mean,
have to be.
they
They
just
have to
fired
be.
they just fired their head coach and their defensive coordinator, Matt Rule, Phil Snow, the defensive coordinator. I mean, that whole franchise, they're looking at Baker Mayfield like, dude, what can we get for you? Because
It also doesn't help that they have Baker Mayfield.
no, I know they thought, and this is, I like Baker as a person. I would love to like party with him. Like I honestly think like he's a really cool guy. I think like I like him a lot. I can't say the same for Russell Wilson, you know. But Baker, I like the guy. He hasn't proven anything over the course of his
Dude,
career. He has been like such a non-factor. If anything, he has been consistently performing poorly. And this is on the Browns,
yeah.
you know, on the Browns with that offense that you now look at Brissett. They put Brissett in there, and all of a sudden the offense is cooking, dude. I
Uh,
mean, come on, Baker, dude. I think he could be a good analyst. I think he can get a podcast, but I don't think he's a starting NFL quarterback. You know,
I
I just,
completely agree with you. And you know what? I actually have to disagree with you. I hate Baker Mayfield. I hate who he is. I hate him as a person. I just dislike him. It might be because I had him in fantasy and
oh,
and he just absolutely ruined my team. But I've always hated him. His commercials,
yeah,
they
yeah,
make me
yeah,
cringe. It's just like, bro, you're either gonna act or you're gonna play football, and clearly you can't play football and you can't act. So maybe
yeah.
he should start a podcast. I hate that guy. It like literally makes my skin crawl thinking about Baker Mayfield. But
It's just interesting,
um,
like the lengths people will go to defend like Baker, because statistically
I know.
there is zero defense for Baker Mayfield. Like there's a lot of backup quarterbacks. I mean, God bless it, dude. I would take Zappy. I would take Zappy, dude. By the way, Zappy, right? Come on.
I know,
Zappy,
bro.
dude. He's doing things Mac J didn't. He's doing, and you know what? And I think honestly, if anything, it goes to show that coaching in the NFL is huge. Coaching in the
Yeah,
NFL, you like, and we saw it with Garoppolo in the Patriots. When Garoppolo came in from as a backup position in the Patriots, he succeeded. He did really well, and guess what? Trade bait. All of a sudden now, okay, now he's off to the 49ers. And I do think Garoppolo's good, but what I'm saying is like Zappy was third string. He
yeah.
was he was third. He was a rookie,
I know.
fifth or sixth round rookie.
It was sixth round. It was sixth round, and him and Cooper Rush this year combined are 6-1, and Cooper Rush is the one with the one loss
Fuck, dude.
combined.
Isn't that nuts? I mean, the
Yeah,
fact that Zappy comes in and performs better than Baker's ever done,
yeah.
with less weapons, with the
I know.
injured Damian Harris, with Jacoby Myers as wide receiver one.
It
Come
honestly makes
on.
you. It really makes you look at, like you were saying, it's coaching. I think that coaching has a lot more to do in the NFL than it does in college. I think that NFL, a good team is based on a good coach. I don't think that, like the Panthers don't have it. The I mean, it's proven here. The Broncos don't have it. They paid 200 plus $1 million for the best quarterback in the NFL, and look at what he's done. And I don't think it has a lot to do with. I mean, he has the wide receiver options. He has, you know, whatever it may be, whatever an offensive. I mean, his O line isn't the greatest. Let's not count that out. But the coaching is just not it. Like you're gonna have a coach go out there on the first game of the season, prime time game, and you're gonna kick a field goal when you have the best quarterback in the league. You're wasting a minute
Mm.
off the clock to kick a field goal to end the game and miss it. It's an embarrassment. And I think it all comes down to coaching.
You look at a sport like basketball, where coaching, I mean, you're looking at coaches as or players as the coaches. You're not looking at
Yeah.
coaches, dude. Like, are you kidding me? They were okay with putting Luke Walton at head coach because guess what? LeBron James is the coach. It's
Yeah.
it's like in basketball, it's like coaching is so minimal, dude. Like
Yeah.
it's so fucking like unless you look back to the days of like Phil Jackson, the triangle, like all that shit. Okay, Popovich, okay, but like in the NFL, it doesn't matter if you have a couple superstars, dude. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Look at the Raiders, man. They've got a
Yeah.
talented roster. They're sitting at one
I
and
mean,
four, and it doesn't look like it's necessarily going to get better anytime soon.
football is the number one team sport there is. Like you have to depend on every single player on the field to do their job and to do it well in order for a team to be successful. In basketball, completely different. You can have a Steph Curry or a Klay Thompson completely carry your team through and through. You can, I mean, look at that. LeBron James carried the Cavaliers to a championship with nobodies. But
Mm-hmm.
in the NFL, think about it. You have Devonte Adams. You have one of the best wide receivers in the league, but you can't do anything because you have, a mid to not so talented quarterback that is Derek Carr. You can't use your best wide receiver in the league with all of his talents because you don't have the quarterback to connect with him. Look at Aaron Rodgers now. Look at the Packers. He lost Devontae Adams, and Aaron Rodgers has nobody to pass it to. Is nobody.
Mm-hmm.
What's he gonna do? Pass to Randall Cobb? He can only do that so many times.
Well, dude, Alan Lazard,
Tanyan,
Alan Lazard
yeah,
as your number one option.
yeah,
I'm sitting here as a Chargers fan feeling bad for myself because Keenan's been out and Mike Williams is our number one option. Alan
yeah.
Lazard as your go-to guy. Fuck, dude, that's tough.
Yep.
That's a tough place to be in as a in the Packers, man. That is
I
just a
mean,
tough.
you're looking at him struggle. You're looking at the downfall of the Green Bay Packers. They lost to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Drake, but that is an embarrassment, bro. I mean, yeah, okay, actually, I can't even say it like that because the Giants have been playing good this year. They did lose to Cooper Rush, GOAT. But you know what? I think that the end of Aaron Rodgers is coming this year. I don't think he'll retire. I just think that there's going to be a Carolina reboot happening
Really?
uh, in
You think
in
so?
uh,
You
in
th-
Green
but
Bay pretty soon.
but like I don't think anybody in their right mind can look at that situation and think that Aaron is the problem.
I don't think so either. I don't think he is the problem either. I think that the problem is he doesn't have anybody to pass it to anymore. He doesn't have his Devonte Adams. He doesn't have his star player. The only receiver that he really had is gone now.
The Giants and the Jets, you look at them right now, they're doing really well. And people are asking the question, like, are they a playoff team? And it's fascinating because they have been playing well, and I think they've been winning close games, especially in the Giants' case specifically. They've been winning really close games. And there's something to be said for that. And the
Yeah,
Chargers, I'm a Chargers fan. The Chargers have been getting lucky, winning close games. And like, yeah, you say lucky, but like at the end of the day, winning close games in the regular season is like a huge indicator for playoffs. Like
yeah.
a lot of teams that have no business in the playoffs end up in the playoffs because they just won like those coin flip situations. They won, and the Chargers have
Mhm.
been on the end of losing those. And in all the years past, they always lose the field goal try. They always lose all the close games. So now they aren't. But the Giants, if you look at their remaining schedule and you look at like statistically what they're doing, they're gonna get tested here. They're going to get tested, and it's going to be a situation of like, can you keep on? And the article was saying something about like a law of averages, about can you keep winning those close games, especially when it gets to the playoffs? Can you keep doing that?
So yeah,
Statistically not. Statistically not.
I don't even know if Keenan Allen is playing this week. They
I
always
think
put
he
him in,
will.
and then
I
last
think he
second,
will.
and 9:58 a.m. I'm scrambling to change him out and put Noah Brown in.
Dude,
Gives
that's
me three
dude.
points a
You
game.
know what's hilarious, Eddie, is apparently so like I made a whole like thing on like I posted about Keenan Allen saying and like here's the thing about Keenan Allen and like for the Chargers for example, it's not like the Patriots where you genuinely do not know. Like Belichick is so secretive about his players
Yeah.
getting like if they're gonna play or not. Like Damian Harris, I'm surprised that I know now that Damian's gonna be playing. Like I'm honestly surprised.
Yeah.
Dude, Keenan is always like he's upfront about it. Like they had him as questionable and like probable almost to be playing, and then Keenan like went on some like whatever show or whatever, and he's just like, "Hey, like I'm not gonna be back this week, but like, hey, Seattle." He's like, "Seattle's looking good," and I take that as like Keenan's like very fan favorite. He's very just like he's gonna tell you how. I think Keenan plays this week. By the way, we're in a PPR league, right?
Yeah.
So this is the thing about Keenan Allen. Like last season, from like a touchdown perspective, disappointing, severely disappointing from Keenan Allen. But guess what? He was still top 15 wide receiver because he will draw those 10 targets. Because like here's the thing about like Keenan Allen, like he'll get open. Like whether it's a 10-yard route, whether it's a 5-yard
Mhm.
route, he's a very good route runner and he will get open and he will get his receptions. I mean, I had him last season and he'll get like 7 or 8 or 9 receptions for like 90 yards and that's an 18-point fantasy outing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's that guy and like we've been throwing the ball to what DeAndre Carter, special teams guy. Like Josh Palmer, he has it in him, but I just don't think he's there yet. He's definitely
Dude,
gonna
I
be
like Josh Palmer a lot.
Dude, Josh Palmer's a beast, bro. I've been
I like him a
preaching
lot.
ever since he came to the Chargers. I've been preaching Josh Palmer. Like I
Yeah.
think he's that guy. But Keenan, he's that PPR threat, and like he's what Justin's been looking for. You know, when Justin's like he's getting rushed, he's got
Yeah. When
a
he's
pop.
scrambling in the pocket,
Yeah,
he's looking for
he's
Keenan. He sees him on
dude.
the sideline. He's trying to pass it to him.
Exactly, dude. He's got a Pop Warner center, dude. Literally a third string center that was like brought in from the practice squad who was playing
Yeah.
against the Broncos, and like they are rushing him, and he's looking around like, dude, where's my open receiver? It's like when you have a deep threat like Mike Williams. Like if you have protection and you can load up and you can sling that thing, dude, great. But when
I
you're
mean, just look at it.
scrambling,
Look at it in the past. Yeah.
when you're
100%.
scrambling, you got to find someone open. And Keenan knows how to get open. He's just like very good at making himself available and getting receptions.
Like,
If you don't play PPR, dude, just miss me with that shit, dude. Because
yeah, it's
it's
probably
like, how boring is that? Like,
yeah,
because the
like
thing
a
is,
corporate office work league if you're not playing PPR.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
That's what you're doing.
yeah, dude. It's like someone that didn't even look at the settings when they set up the league,
Yeah.
and they just automatically set up a league. Hey, guys, we're gonna do a fantasy football league, and they
Just
don't.
all the default options.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking NPCs drafting players.
Yeah.
That's the only people that are gonna be doing non PPR because like the running backs are rare enough. You gotta add a PPR to make running backs that like take a guy like Brees Hall. He's had a breakout season. Guess what? He's also getting like 7 receptions a game. So like
I
you
traded him away.
I know, dude, Eddie, that's tough. That's tough. I have him in my other
You know
league.
what, dude? You know what? I traded him away and I didn't look back. I I knew what I was doing going into it. I knew and whoever traded, I don't even remember who it was. It might have been Drizzy. Again, he knew what he was doing giving me
Drizzy,
Zeke, bro.
Drizzy be fleecing, bro. You
He
know what
knew
I
what he was
like?
doing giving me Zeke.
Yeah,
He knew. He knew. He knew I would accept it too.
yeah.
He knew I would accept it. I was upset. I honestly I took that trade as an offense. And that is why I'm 1-5. I blame it all on Drizzy. I blame everything, all my entire failure of this season in fantasy has been on Drizzy.
With
Dude.
running backs in this league, it's all about what you can do on a budget. Like, what
Yep.
can you
And
do
you
on a
know what?
budget?
I've stayed by this. I guess I don't even know what I would call it, but I would never pay a running back unless it's like Christian McCaffrey. Unless it's a I mean, honestly, Austin Eckler, unless it's a dependable running back, and then I would never have paid Zeke with what the Cowboys paid him. I would have never. No, I wouldn't even pay Pollard that, dude. I mean, a running back is so easily injured, and a running backs don't last. I think we can all kind of agree with that. It may not be true for everybody, but a running back doesn't last. I think that Jerry Jones is playing a little Madden, and he's trying to boost his players every year, sending Zeke to Cabo and having him train out there. It's like Jerry Jones is literally playing Madden.
Having him
He's literally
train,
playing his own video game.
having him. Hey, how much training you think Zeke did in Cabo, bro? Hey,
That's what I'm saying,
I
bro.
best believe, dude. Best believe that dude was at Mango Deck, bro. If we
That's
went,
what I'm saying.
well, with running back,
Hey,
dude, it's durability. It's the fact that if you're going to be getting 15 plus touches a game, you're replaceable in the fact that there's a lot of very athletic running backs out there. We look at Alexander Madison sitting second fiddle to Dalvin Cook. That dude would be starting on a lot of teams. I mean, there's a plethora versus wide receiver, which like I think the difference between like a great running back and a great wide receiver as far as like the competition goes is huge because
yeah.
route running is so much more technical than picking a gap with a good offensive line and fitting through that gap and getting a few yards. I mean, if you're not a generational talent like Christian McCaffrey, you're
Yeah.
not gonna get the giant contract anymore. I think
Yep.
the league is changing in that way to where if you're not that guy, you could be a step down. We could start the backup, and as long as if I'm a business owner, right? If I'm like a team owner, I'm putting my money more so into the offensive line, more so into receivers,
Oh yeah.
more so into quarterbacks, more so into more so into a lot of positions than in the running back position. Running
Oh
backs,
yeah.
like, dude, come on, man. Like you could have backups be doing all sorts of things. There's guys on the waiver wires that could step up. It's like you're very easily replaceable. And at this, like, dude, with Jalen Hurts, that dude put in the work in the off
Yeah.
season. That
I mean,
dude, like,
last year he's nowhere near
oh
where he
my,
was last
dude,
year.
he most improved. If anything, like if he doesn't win MVP,
100%.
which guess what, obviously Josh Allen's front runner in my opinion, but like if somehow Jalen doesn't win MVP, I think he should win Most Improved or Comeback
Yeah.
Player of the Year. If Brian Robinson doesn't win Comeback Player, like he might because he got shot in a carjacking, like that's possible. but like, but 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 you know what, dude? If he doesn't win it, like Jalen Hurts needs to win an award because he put in the work. Because like the criticism on him was his arm. And
Yeah.
and it was true because guess what? You look at a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, who's been mobile, and then like you look at his arm
And
and like people,
sling it too.
but I think Jalen Hurts has made more progress in terms of like a true quarterback than Lamar Jackson. I think he like as far as his arm goes, he can make throws that like Lamar isn't making.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? And dude, I at the beginning of the season said with the odds that I saw, put Russell Wilson at MVP. That's what I
I
said.
know. I remember you saying that.
I and
I remember
and
you saying.
fuck, dude. I don't know if it's a coaching, if it's a game plan thing, but like he's missing throws. He's not like looking at the field. It just seems like he's frazzled. There's
I don't
something.
know what. I
There,
don't know. I don't know if it's the connection. I don't know if it's the chemistry. Jerry Judy. I mean, bro, he is a great wide receiver, and he's a great receiver to have on your team. And you look at a guy like Jerry Judy, and you get excited.
yeah.
And you look at a guy like Russell Wilson, and you get excited. And you put them together, and you think, dang, we have a really good contending team. But look at how they've been. They can't.
Cortland Sutton, KJ
Colton Sutton
Hamler.
is having a great year. I can't even bag on the receivers, and I can't. I don't know if Russell Wilson's to blame. I think it all comes down to coaching again, like we were saying earlier. I genuinely do think it comes down to having a head coach that can lead a team. I think coaching is a key factor to the NFL, and
I
the
think it's a
Broncos
mix.
clearly don't have
I,
it.
I think I think honestly though, if I had to say like percentage wise, if it's coaching or if it's Russ, I'd have to give
Yeah, I
like
think it's a
I
mix as
would
well.
say 60% Russ, 40% coaching, and the only reason why I
Yeah.
say that is because there's been some I mean even in the Chargers game, like wide open opportunities that Russ just missed. Like
Yeah,
he just didn't see it.
exactly.
You see it with the Broncos fans. Like dude, like the exasperation, bro. Like you want a vocabulary word? Exasperation, frustration, absolute just fucking disappointment is what I would say. That like the camera pans and you see these Broncos fans and
Hurt.
dude, if I was born in Denver and like after all this, like you know how upset I would be, like truly upset, because it's one thing if your team is under talented and whatever, you're not doing great, you have injuries, problems, whatever, but when like your team is healthy, like I mean, other than obviously Javonte Williams, which I do think is a big like minus for
I
them.
agree.
I do believe that's a big problem for them, but like we said with running backs, you put in Mike Boone, like he'll do the job. Like if Russell does his job, it'll all follow. But like you get a team that's relatively healthy, you have the one of the best corners in the league with Surtain. I mean, this guy,
Hey, he is
he might he
unbelievable.
might be top 3 cornerbacks in the league, vying
If
for the
not
best.
two, if not
Yes,
one.
he's literally like the truth, dude. He's the
Yeah, he
truth,
is.
and it's not like they have a lack of pressure on quarterbacks too
Yeah,
with Chubb. I mean, like you got players, and the defense has been looking nice. The offense has
yeah.
not been giving them a lot of chances. The offense has not been giving them good opportunities to show how good they are, but like God bless, man. You go out there, you get Russell, you have the like one of the best receiving cores in the NFL. Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, a
Yeah,
skill. I mean, Cortland Sutton, you look at his frame, what is he, 6'4", an absolute deep threat, like Mike Williams type. Maybe even
he's
honestly, I would
all
say
around.
probably a little bit more talented than Mike Williams, Cortland Sutton, like if I'm being objective. And then you got a Jerry Jeudy who's a route running specialist. I mean,
Yeah,
that guy can carve you up like no tomorrow. And they and literally they aren't doing anything. I mean, I think Jerry Judy's projected like 10 points,
dude.
like
I think it all comes down to coaching. Yeah, you could blame Russell Wilson as much as you want. You can blame. I always think that it comes down to coaching. I think that without having, I mean, dude, you're gonna let Russell Wilson walk away and not. I don't know. I just think that I blame the coaching staff. I blame the Broncos being um, just undisciplined, man. I just don't understand how like Pete Carroll on the Seahawks. I mean, you have a coach that has been to the Super Bowl. You have a coach that knows his team, that has the team chemistry, and then you bring in, what is it, Hackett? You bring in
mhm.
a coach that doesn't really know it. Like it's a new coach. It's a new year. It's a new season for the Broncos in general. I think that bringing in Russell Wilson and bringing in Nathaniel Hackett, I think it's a completely uh, it was a risk.
Well,
It's a risk that isn't really panning out.
Give Pete Carroll credit. Look at Geno. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. That's what I'm
God bless,
saying. That's what I'm
dude.
saying.
It goes back to like, dude. It all like I think like as a theme, like this whole discussion could be based on like how important coaching is in the NFL, because at the end of the day, you have Pete Carroll making Geno Smith literally a Russell Wilson prototype. I mean,
Yeah,
he's putting up numbers fantasy wise. I mean, I traded him away and I almost regret it. But Geno Smith is like last week he had a poor week, but other than that, I mean, he's like top 10 quarterbacks right now. And that's in a system with Pete Carroll, and maybe we were giving too much credit to Russell Wilson at the beginning. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe we
I
were giving a
agree.
little too much credit to Russell Wilson. Maybe we should be giving more credit to Pete Carroll. And now that he's with Nathaniel Hackett, it's a little bit of an issue. It's a little bit of a
Yeah, I think
problem.
that I think you're right there. I think that we do need to look back, I mean, yeah, honestly, on the Seahawks, he had DK Metcalf. He had
Lockett.
options.
But look,
Yeah, he had options.
but he has no lack of options right now. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
he
Is like,
doesn't. You're right.
and you
You're
know
right.
what's interesting is like it's almost a direct comparison too with like Metcalf and Lockett and Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, because Lockett
Yeah,
is Jeudy and Metcalf is Cortland Sutton. Like they're almost like very similar prototypes of players. I mean, someone
yep.
who's a very physical wide receiver who can go up like Cortland Sutton on a vertical threat on a jump ball and make a play. Metcalf, Cortland Sutton, and then you look at Lockett and Jeudy, who are route running specialists that can get open and get receptions. I mean, you're looking at like very similar players. So that's where like it's very interesting as a case study to look at it. Like, yo, it's very similar situations.
You know where Nathaniel Hackett's from?
Where's he from?
He's from your own little hometown, Fullerton, California.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Ah, dude, I can't even talk shit on him anymore, dude. I love
I
talking
know,
shit on
right?
Hackett. Is he actually from
Dude, he went.
Fullerton?
Yeah, he went to Orange Lutheran High School.
No, he didn't. Dude.
No, he didn't go to Orange.
Yeah,
He
shut the
didn't go to
fuck
Orange
up, dude.
Lutheran.
Shut up,
But
bro.
he is from Fullerton. He is from Fullerton.
Dude, that actually is crazy. I mean, shout out Nathaniel
Yeah.
Hackett. It's all Russell Wilson's fault. Hackett's doing his best.
Sorry, you're such a god awful coach, but it's all Russell Wilson's fault. Oh, we're still on the stream, aren't we? Is there anyone watching?
Yeah,
Just listening
no,
to our
it's
conversation.
just bots. It's just us. It's like
Okay.
yeah, it's nothing. Like
Yeah.
my camera literally just died too, so like
Oh, I see it.
it's just you.
Changes the battery pack.
But hey, how about
That's
this?
hilarious.
We'll connect about the Padres.
Okay.
Whatever happens, my camera ran out of battery. But dude, NFL Week 7 coming up, dude. Pretty crazy. Christian McCaffrey got traded. I watch for tight ends getting traded, guys. Watch for Austin Hooper on the Titans right now. I think Austin Hooper gets traded. So watch that. I think Austin Hooper gets traded. He's on my bench, and I really hope he goes to a team that can appreciate him. But other than that, we'll see you next time. Eddie, hey, we'll connect about the Padres.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
Hey, thanks for coming on, by the way. This was fun. I wasn't
And
planning on streaming at all. Like, I literally, like, it wasn't going to happen. So I appreciate you, like, making it happen. The whole trade, everything going down. It was a good conversation, I think.
yeah, for sure. Hey, anytime, Brian. I'm happy to. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to hop on anytime. I always enjoy, getting to talk shop with you and getting down and dirty about our god awful fantasy teams that are on the come up. That are on the come up.
They're
So I
on the
can't give them a hate yet.
they're on
We're
the come up.
rebuilding, and we will go better than 1-5 this week.
Hey,